Saturn in the 11th house. In this video, I'm going to be discussing Saturn in the 11th house, everything you need to know about Saturn in the 11th house, and how to master Saturn in the 11th house. All right. Now, before I begin, make sure you hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell so you can be notified every time I post new videos. Let's discuss Saturn in the 11th house. All right. Now, when you have Saturn in the 11th house, this is similar to having natal Saturn in Aquarius because Aquarius rules the 11th house. All right. So let's say you have your natal Saturn in Gemini, but it's natal Saturn in Gemini in the 11th house. So not only would you study natal Saturn in Gemini, you would also study natal Saturn in Aquarius because Aquarius rules the 7th house. So pretty much both applies to you as well. And you would find that if you were to study Saturn and Aquarius descriptions, it sounds a lot like you and it resonates with you. Okay, so that's pretty much what I'm saying here, is that it's very important that you study natal Saturn and Aquarius descriptions as well when you have natal Saturn in the 11th house. Okay. See full video I did breaking down natal Saturn in Aquarius. The link for that is in the description box. Okay, so I did a full video breaking down natal Saturn in Aquarius in detail. You want to check that out. The link for that is in the description box. Okay, so make sure you study both. Study whatever your natal Saturn is, but study natal Saturn in Aquarius as well. Aquarius being the ruler of the 11th house. That applies as well. When you have Saturn in the 11th house, you're here to learn to master all things involving networking, friendships, group organizations, shared ideals, and long-term goals. Saturn and the house that it's placed in tells you the type of matters that you need to master. Okay, you have to master. The 11th house has to do with matters that have to do with networking, friendships, group organizations, shared ideals, and long-term goals. So you have to master these matters. You have to master how to network, how to have friends and maintain friends, being a part of a group organizations, your shared ideals, connecting with people who have the shared ideals, and mastering your long-term goals and your legacy. Okay. You may have inhibitions and fears when it comes to joining group organizations and joining clubs, and when it comes to networking with others. Okay, Aquarius ruling the 11th house, and when you have Saturn in the 11th, it's just like having Saturn in Aquarius. So that means that and Aquarius has to do with friendships, group organizations, clubs, and networking. So when you have this, you tend to have fears when it comes to joining group organizations and clubs and networking with others. It's like you're like, I don't know, I don't really trust people, or I don't know if they accept me. There's some kind of inhibitions and fears that you have when it comes to group organizations and clubs and networking, and you have to overcome that. All right. And not only that, when people have this placement, it's like they know they're supposed to network with other people, be actively involved in social media, but they don't do it. It's like for some reason there's just a restriction there. There's a block there. Like a lot of times you see people with this placement, it's like they know they need social media to grow their business, but then they don't use social media at all. You know, they have social media, but it's like no picture. They're not actively involved on social media. Okay, so this is something that has to be overcome. This indicates inhibitions, fears, and limitations and struggles being associated with stepchildren and friends. The 11th house also has to do with stepchildren and friends. So a lot of times when you have this, there's inhibitions, fears, limitations, and struggles associated with stepchildren and friends. This placement also indicates the father and or grandfather mastering groups, mastering clubs, or networking, or the father has struggles with his friends and network. All right, so this can go one or two ways. It's either your father or grandfather masters groups and clubs and networking, like they've mastered that themselves, or your father struggles with his friends and struggles with his network, and there's some type of struggles and hardships associated with friends and networks for your father. How to make best use of your natal Saturn when you have Saturn in the 11th house. You have to master the group organizations that you're a part of, and master the whole concept of networking and getting involved with people that share the same ideals. Master your long-term goals. Okay, so this is very important. This is how you master your natal Saturn. Master the group organizations that you're a part of. Master the whole concept of networking, getting involved with people that share the same ideals, and master your long-term goals, and also master your legacy. All right. So that's everything you need to know about Saturn in the 11th house. Thank you for taking the time out to watch my video. Like, share, subscribe, comment down below. Let me know what you think. Take care.